Good morning. Well, I'm looking at the Pancake House pond today, and I'm going to be doing a job that I've been putting off for months. So this is the filter box for the Pancake House pond. Now, it amazes me the way they installed this. So you've got this big filter box, lots of weight there. So it's outside. So what did they do? They put it on a timber frame. Now, I don't know if you can see down through there, but that timber frame has rotted and collapsed. So I'm going to drain this down and lift it up and build a new frame underneath it. Now, that sounds straightforward, other than the fact that there are so many obstacles. First of all, there's a drain valve for it that dumps the muddy water out the bottom of it, through here, through the flower bed, and off over there. And I'll show you how that works in a bit. The other thing is the access. We've got to climb over it to get behind it for the access. And then at the other end down here, as a pipe comes out the end there, across there, and down onto our waterfall, which I don't want to damage. I don't want to make that leak, but somehow I've got to raise this entire box up, so I'm going to have to move all those stones. So yeah, this is going to be interesting, and yeah, let's see what we can do. So the first job is to drain the muddy water out the bottom of it. So if you look down there, you'll see there's a valve, a pull handle that releases, and that flushes the water through the bottom there. That you would expect goes to a drain, but of course no, it doesn't. It comes to this valve here, which is buried in the wall, and it then pours out of there down the path here. So I've got this lovely long hose which I've got to now drag out and go over to somewhere where it can soak away. So that's next on the list. Now we can open this valve. And open that valve. And that should now be draining the water down. And there we go. Lovely muddy water. So that can just build up here and soak into the ground here. Right, while that's draining, we'll take the filters out of here. Now obviously the only way to access it is to carefully climb over the top. Oh. Nice and easy. And now we're going to have to remove a load of this lot from inside it to make it lighter. Okay, so that's the filter as empty as I can get it. I've got all the media here. All the sponges there I've actually gone through again and washed each one individually in its own bucket of pond water. So they're as clean as they can get. So yeah, let's get rid of this hose now. Okay, well I've disconnected the supply pipe for the water, Now the outlet goes through, across and down to the waterfall, so I don't know how I'm going to dismantle that. I think I just have to dismantle it. But the main problem I'm having with getting this out, there's two nuts, one underneath here and one underneath there, that I've got to undo. And I think, well, I say I think, I know that they were done up and put in place before this wall was built. So I think I'm going to end up dismantling this wall, which I don't really want to do, but I can't see any other way to do it. So I might just turn the camera off for a little bit while I try and get this out. So a quick update on where we got to. I've removed two big stones from there, and I still couldn't get to the nuts. Well, I could undo them, but I couldn't get the pipe out. So I then started digging out this pipe here and found there was a screw connector here. So I've now managed to disconnect that, but I still couldn't get the pipe out. So I've managed to lift this end of the tub, and now the pipe comes off easy as that. So that's that one out of the way. Now all I've got to do is work out the other end. Now I've lifted a load of blocks off. Hopefully I'll be able to lift it out, but they've built dirt up against either side of it, so it's kind of clamped in place. But yeah, I'll let you know when it's out. Well, it's out. I've got a mess to deal with now, but it's out. Well, that took forever. So it took me all afternoon to rebuild the end of that. So basically it was like a rockery that was built up against the filter box. I dismantled the entire thing, dug all the soil out from in there, rebuilt the base with the breeze blocks there, so that's nice and stable, then put rocks on top for decorative, because you won't see it from this side, you'll see it from the other side, so all you'll see is the nice rocks now. Put all gravel down here, so we've got a nice firm base, got rid of all the mud. But basically I had to rebuild all this structure so it's not relying on the filter box or the wooden frame underneath the filter box for support. It is all now freestanding. So I've got the gap here so I can reconnect the pipe there. But the idea is I now need to build a wooden platform, put the filter box back in there, connect that back up down there, and then I can put the last of the rocks at the far end. But like I say, it did take me all afternoon, so we're now actually on the next day. Fortunately, I have an air pump that's in the pond, so that's kept the pond oxygenated overnight. I wouldn't want to leave it much longer without the filter box, so I do really need to get this back in by the end of the day. So let's get on with that wooden platform. Right, well that's one nice sturdy platform built. It's mainly made out of reclaimed timbers, which is excellent because it didn't cost us too much. Now you might have noticed these three planks are thinner. That's because I ran out of the thick planks, and I was contemplating leaving it open for ventilation, but I thought I don't want any critters getting in underneath this and nesting. So they're just literally there to fill the gaps, so nothing can get underneath it. Now obviously I put the plastic on the underneath because that's to prevent the water from wicking up through the base of it and hopefully preventing it from rotting. And the spacing I've laid them out, there's like one beam that goes across underneath the tub all the way along the length, and there's little feet that stick out about here, so that's why it's laid out in that spacing. But yeah, so it's nice and solid, really heavy, and I'm starting to think maybe I should have built it in place, because I've now got to work out how on earth I get it from here into there. And I think the answer is carefully. Well, this works. The only problem is I can't see where I'm going, but it works. Okay, now time for the filter box. Now I've reattached that pipe before I put it back. I'm hoping I'll be able to lift it in with that in place, and then it just leaves that one screw connector there. I also spent a bit of time cleaning it up underneath there, and that's a non-return valve there, which I've now put up the right way so it actually functions properly. So yeah, I'll set you up over here. Right, well I may regret this later on, but I've connected the water supply pipe at this end, and I've connected the outlet pipe at that end. I still need to connect the drain connection there, but I'm thinking at the moment this is still moving all over the place. It needs some weight in it. So my thought is, fill that up with water, I can see if there's any leaks, I can make sure that all flows, and then I can work on the drain afterwards. In theory, I don't have to connect this drain until the next time I want to do a filter clean, so I've got a month to do that, which is excellent. So yeah, let's turn it on, fill it up and see how things go. Well, I've already found 2 leaks, so this valve doesn't hold properly, so it is leaking out of there, and that joint underneath there is leaking as well. But I'm going to continue letting it fill for now, because I want it to go into the next section and make sure that that doesn't leak. So yeah, almost there. Right, well the good news is now it's full, there's nothing else wrong with this filter box, so all the water's flowed down out there without a problem. There's no other leaks. The leak that was underneath the box here, it was actually a joint that I hadn't tightened properly, so that's now tightened. So the only problem I have got is this drain valve is leaking, but once I reconnect that waste pipe, there's another valve on the other end, so that shouldn't be a problem. The only issue is connecting it, so I'm going to go and have some lunch because I'm going to get absolutely filthy trying to do this, and then after lunch I'll see about reconnecting that. Right, see you in a second. Right, well I think I've fixed the leak at last, so I had to tunnel quite a long way down into there, and I followed the pipe as far as I could. Now that was a flexible pipe, but it's kind of gone rigid now, but I had just enough movement that I was able to reconnect it there. So I cleaned all that up, reconnected that, filled it with water, tested it, and it all seems to hold now. So I've put the filter media back in. Now with the filter media here we have different sections, and I thought I'd just say what each of them does. So main thing with the filter, because people think it's like something that physically catches stuff, and it's not. Majority of your filter is for bacteria. So these red brushes, that slows the water flow down and has large surface area for bacteria to build up on. The foam section in the middle, that is the filter that catches stuff. Then after that again there's like rocks, and then there's these offcuts of plastic. They are again just large surface area for bacteria to build up on, and that helps break down things like ammonia in your water, makes your water safe. So yeah, I'm going to spend a bit of time just tidying this up, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Right, well that's all the hole filled in and the wall rebuilt. I managed to clean the top of the tub off as well, so this end's looking alright. Now the other end, I've rebuilt the stones around the pipe. It doesn't look great. I mean, the tub itself has been raised up by a good 6 inches, so it does show up a bit more, and there was a fern there that I cut down for winter. So hopefully next year that will regrow, and once it's had a bit of weather to it, it will settle down. But yeah, so I'd love to say this looks so much better. Obviously it doesn't look a lot better, but I think that's the first time that lid's been on that tub properly, well, for the last 20 years. So yeah, right, I'll end this video here and I'll see you later.